Hello, it's John, Vintage Fisherman. Today, man, I got a cool one today. This is a Shakespeare Royal Maroon, is what we call them. It's a Shakespeare Sea Wonder 2081. Uh, Date code EC. I'll have to look it up. I can't remember. I want to say like 1960. I'll get it wrong. I'll have to look it up before I come back to the put it back together video. But folks, it's locked. It's locked completely up. It's all there. It's just locked up. So let's see what it's made of here and where the problem is. These are, I would call them surf size reel, light surf maybe. These are really good reels, folks. I mean, if you ever have the opportunity to pick up one of these, go for it. You won't be disappointed. Look, this thing's like brand new. It's just drag. I'm keeping this reel, by the way. Look at the drag. It's a nice drag system. Bait clicker works, or the line out clicker. Let's see here. Let's take the handle off. Oh gosh, the handle. I was gonna have to put some lubricant on that to get it to come free. There should be a washer up inside here. There is. A lot of these parts are gonna get soaked overnight. This has a separate handle or reel seat, and they're known for breaking. I'm not gonna take those screws out. I'm not gonna bother with it. I've tried to take them out before and had them to break off in the house. We're not gonna go there today. Let's take the cover off. This is where the problem's going to be, is right in here. You know, it's not in bad shape. Not sure why it's locked up. This pin just pulls out. Just like that. And your shaft pulls out. Yeah, it's locked up here in the handle. That's locked up. You can take this screw. This is an oiling hole. So you take the screw out of the oiling hole. And we're going to help this thing out just a little bit. This is Kroll lubricant made to loosen things up. Let that soak for just a minute or two. Let's see if I can't knock it out there. I use a non-marring hammer. It's made for gunsmithing. It's brass on one end and nylon on the other. I don't want to get the pounding on that too much. Wake everybody in the house up. Yeah, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Unusual that thing will be locked up like that. Well, let's take this part while that's soaking. This is a double, like a jam nut type setup. Outer, but to use I'm gonna have to use a socket on maybe. go. Simple little reels. He's going to be stuck though. It's just what it is. Everything on it is supposed to be stuck. That's just a lock. It'll pop out of there. Take that out. Your bell spring's over here. Yeah, let's do this. We'll take the bell completely apart here. There you go. There's a small liner inside there. These are well-made reels, I'm telling you. This is rival of Penn right here. This was back in the day. Penn and Shakespeare were neck and neck in the American market. Great. There's your bell wire. Bell spring will be over here, and it's in good shape. This reel doesn't look very used. I'm not sure why it's so locked up like it. That's the original factory lubricant in it. So I'm not really sure where things went wrong. I'm going to show you something here. Prove it hasn't been used much. That rubber bumper is still in good shape. That's pretty remarkable, I'm not going to lie. There's that. Just got to get this out of there without tearing it up. Well, I got a plan, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to put it on camera or not. I'm going to have to do a little work here. Can't really see this, but I've got an arbor press. I'm going to put this in there and I'm going to touch it right there and push this out. Hopefully. I'm putting a block of wood under it to keep from hurting the reel. See, I don't want to tear anything up on the reel. It's coming out. There it is. It's out. So, arbor press work without having to bang on the damn thing. Still got a little ways to go. There it goes. And that's where it was locked up. The shaft was just freaking dry as hell. Wow. That's all it was, is this right here. Just needs a good polishing, fresh lube. It'll be good as new. This needs to be removed if I can get it off there without hurting it. There it goes. Left-hand threads. I'd forgotten that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Got a little standoff or a washer that goes on there. All this stuff's gonna have to get soaked a lot. It's just dry. Not completely 100% dry, but it's pretty damn dry. Now this piece here, look how this is the bell trip, and I can tell you right now it's bent. The bell trip's not supposed to be bent like that. It's supposed to be about like that. See how it was rubbing that cover? Right now. So those are tough little screws to get out of there. I'm trying to think what I have out here that's that size. I don't fool with stuff this small very often. Nope. Hang on. I got tools. Kind of nice having my big toolbox right there beside me. What's that? That's a quarter? That's a quarter. Okay, I already have it on. Okay. So to remove this, take these. These are 1/4 inch hex bolts. And this whole plate is a bearing retainer. The bolt with the acorn on it goes to the very top. And then you got this retainer that comes off. Try to keep all this stuff together here. And then your bearing, probably not going to want to come out of there. Bearing needs some work. This is gonna be fun. Seem to be challenged getting things threaded today. Got to come up with a way to get some leverage on this. Oh, that was easier than I ever thought it would be. All right, so that's the whole reel. I'm not going to take these pieces apart up in here, and I'll tell you why. This is your anti-reverse, or so your anti-reverse on-off. That would come down and catch that cog right there. And that's what creates your anti-reverse. There's a little bitty snap ring or a clip. That thing, if you lose it, you will never find another one. There's a spacer under that. There's a spring there. None of this has to come off on this reel. Maybe on another reel, but not on this one. This one's not, it's not the end of the world if I leave that on there. So We're going to play it safe. We'll get out some of this excess lube that wasn't doing any good. I'm going to soak this thing overnight and come back tomorrow and put this reel back together. Yeah, because it's pretty, it's dry where it don't need to be dry, if that makes sense, what I'm trying to say. I don't think this bearing's going to come off of there. Wish it would, but I don't think it will. I probably could. All right, let's employ the arbor press again. The only reason why I want to get that off there, I want to take the shield off. I want to clean it really good. And then I want to clean this shaft really good. So I'm going to protect this up here with probably just something I can slide down in there, like a bolt head or something. I probably don't have anything like that down here. Because I definitely don't want to damage the end of this. I'm looking. I'm looking. I'm looking. I just need something that won't let me. Like I could use this Delrin here. This is just a piece of plastic, basically. Let's see if I can. This might be tricky. We'll see. There it goes. Yeah, it worked pretty good. Okay, so what I did was I put this in a socket and let the socket push against the bearing. Then I push down on this and popped it off the shaft. That's ready to clean. I can take this bearing apart and clean it. I don't need to press it back together. It'll go back together on its own. But I use this to protect the threads. I just put it in the press like that and just pushed against the plastic and not against the metal. So, or that's actually nylon. That's a nylon punch. So that'll get cleaned. Now this bearing retainer or shield, it will come out of there. This is a very sharp knife, so I'm going to try not to make an ER visit this morning. Take this off. We'll clean that separate. It'll go back on. You can take this side off. And I can soak this bearing. Clean it good. I can have that bearing like brand spanking new. It's got grease in it. I'm not sure why they use grease in their bearings, but I always use oil. So we'll soak this also. All right, so let's clean this thing up, and I'll be back. This is going to be a super nice reel. I love saving them. I love saving a reel that's in this bad of shape. Wouldn't even turn. Well, it's not in bad shape. It just wouldn't turn. I'll love taking one and fixing that. You know, this, like I said, this reel's going to stay in my collection, so I really wanted to fix it. All right, I'll be back. Hello, it's John. I'm back. I'll put this nice Shakespeare Sea Wonder 2081 back together. This thing's beautiful. It's a date code EC, which is 1968. It's 2 years old. So let's put this thing back together. I can't wait to see if I got the problem fixed with it. It was pretty messed up. Uh, I took the shields off the bearing. I'll go ahead and put one of the shields back on. It just snaps in place. These old bearings are serviceable. Right. I'm gonna put just a little bit of lubricant in there. It's just a little bit of a heavier oil. And then 1 drop of light oil. And then put the other shield on. All right, no swirl sounds. We're good there. Let's put the rotor back together. Takes a bell spring, so let's give it some lubricant right there. Bell spring, just like any other bell spring, goes in like that. And then don't look right, does it? Way around. Yeah. Put that in there right there and just see what happens. No, that can't be right. It's got to go. Look opposite. Looks like the bell spring is backwards, but it's not. That for a fact. I figured this would be the trickiest part of this reel, is getting this. Getting this bell spring back on it. Let's see if we got it right. Nope. The spring is in the wrong place for some reason. This doesn't look right going back together, but I know it's right, so I just got to get it right. It just doesn't look right. Yeah, sometimes they can fight you, folks. The problem I'm having is the spring, when I put pressure on, it's popping up under and locking this up. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Kind of show you here. Doesn't look right. Wow. I know it's right, but it doesn't. Try something else here. I don't think it's, I don't know. Something something doesn't look the way it should. Hmm. Definitely doesn't go like that. This has got to go up above there. Sometimes they don't make it easy for you. Getting it close. I don't think that's right. I think that's right. We're going to try to tighten it down, see if I can get it in place. That's a difficult bell spring to set. It's got a lot of tension to it. Yeah, it's not right. Should weird. There's a first for me. I've never had one quite act that way. If I can get it really close. Hmm. Yeah, it's still not seating for whatever reason. I don't know why. I've had my coffee this morning. I swear I have. I need four hands. I need to be like an octopus or something. Let's see. I think I just got it. Yeah, so I had to tuck the spring in. That's weird. Shouldn't have to do that, but I don't know. Sometimes these reels are just a pain. All right, we got that. I'm going to show you how it all fires off here in just a second. This can go in a little dab of grease right in there. You don't, if you're going to use this thing in the sand, go easy on the grease out here. Like if you're going to be on the beach. If you're going to use it on a pier, you'd be fine. Grease will catch that sand out of the air when the wind's blowing on the beach, which it always is. Sand and salt gets blown up, gets caught by the grease, makes you real gritty as hell. The less grease out here on the rotor, the better off you are. On a pier, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we'll bring that around. Let's give that just a little bit of oil up in there. All right, you've got plastic bushing, roller. Roller goes in that, and then into there. We'll get a little bit of grease there, not a lot. It's enough to protect that or keep the threads from corroding. And there you got it. So there is the rotor. It was, if you had the bell tripped, it should fire. Perfect. Don't get any better than that. All right. Okay, back to the handle, or to the body here. Need to lubricate all this stuff down here. I've got it pretty well lubricated, but we're gonna give it a little extra. I don't lubricate the anti-reverse pulse. I like to hear a really loud click. Some people can't stand all that clicking. I love it. I think it's what makes an old reel an old reel. It's just it's a special sound to me. That's just the way I look at it. Oops, got some grease there I didn't want to get. I want to lubricate with a bearing slips in there so that there's not any way the bearing can get seized. Remember, I had to pull the bearing out. That kind of sucks when you have to do that, but all's well that ends well. Put the bearing on here. It could go either way. It doesn't matter. The bearing sounds good. Lubricate this gear. Good time to do it right here. You can get a lot of grease on it. Make sure you get the grease down in the teeth. These are some serious freaking gears on these old reels. Yeah, you don't get this on new reel. These reels are not scared of big fish. Okay. Now you got cover, and I know it goes like this because there's a little rub right there where this thing, which goes in like that, was rubbing. This is the trip. We're gonna put it in there just like that. The top screw is an acorn. Will go in right here. Part of the trip mechanism. And then you got this plate goes in there like that. This whole thing's a retainer, holds bearing in place. Can't wait to spin this reel when I get it done. This is just a neat old reel. It goes like that, that trip. That's how it's lined up. Quarter drive nut driver. Tighten it down. You don't have to kill this thing with torque. 2 fingers, tight. It ain't going nowhere. Plus, you don't want to slip off these little nuts. They'll round off really easy. So, okay. We'll wipe off some extra oil off of it. Well protected. Look at that. Now, I'll put the main gear in it. The main gear has a shim right there. Just leave that in there. I'm not going to grease this. I've polished this. Okay. Really the only grease you need to put on it, because this is going to get oil up in here, and you can oil this after it's together. We're going to grease the gear. Make sure you get the grease down in the teeth really good. We'll set that there just for a second. Before you put this in there, you make sure this is in, the anti-reverse is off. Okay. We're going to put just a little bit of oil in there to get it started. It'll go in and kind of spin its way home. That's where it was locked up before. Now what we can do at this point is put the handle on it. Okay, takes a washer. Let's get some, oh, just a little dab of grease in there. Washer on it, and your handle goes on by spinning and spinning it forward like you're cranking a reel. This thing's going to flop everywhere because I got it loose. And you don't have to get it tight now. It's just to hold it all together. Okay. All right, there we go. Now, grease the top of this gear. Okay, a lot of grease there. You've got this washer goes right there, and then this lever, which is the cross wind, goes right there, and then the retaining nut for the cross wind. Come on. Why is it not wanting to line up? Oh, it's reverse thread. Remember? There we go. Yeah, John. Pack some grease up under that before you tighten it down. Reverse thread. You know why it's reverse thread, so it doesn't back off when it's turning. Smart. Smart stuff. Yeah, find the right wrench here. Fight me a little bit. All right. Now, got all that together. Cross wind's just laying there. We'll go ahead and put the rotor on. A little bit of grease right here, just on those threads. Drop the rotor on. Well, it doesn't hurt to put some grease right in there either. Hold the shaft and line your key block on there just like that. Then you've got two nuts. They're jam nuts. So you put one on and then the other. Not a big fan of this type of system, but some engineer apparently knows more than I do. So just go with it. All right. Take that and tighten the first nut down. Okay, what am I doing here? Tighten it down. And put your second one on. And it jams it all down. They're very thin little nuts. Try not to booger them up. Kind of hard to do that second one because, like I said, they're very thin. If they're lined up, there we go. I got them where they're separated a little bit. There you go. That's it. Okay, now hang on. This is second. All right. I wondered what I did with my axle shaft, and it was in the washer. All right, good stuff. Let's go polish this shaft up a little bit. Right, just a little bit of Scotch-Brite. Now up here, put this leather washer, which we're going to. Wait a minute. Yes, that's not right. This one right here. Where is it? Yes, this one right here. The thinnest of the leather washers. Yes, they're all the same size. Okay, like that. Some oil on the shaft. Oil in the bore. Put the shaft into the bore. Oh, they don't want to cooperate because it handles on there. You need to flip this around and line that pinhole up right there on the shaft. Then drop in there. Maybe. There it is. Line that hole up and drop that pin in. Like that. So, if you want to test your work, tighten that handle up. Remember, this thing was locked up when I got it. Okay. I'm going to put a bit more grease back there, just kind of seal off any water that might intrude itself into this case. A little bit of grease into those threads. Cover on. You know, it's been said, I mean, all these sites, everybody that repairs reels tell you the same thing. Match your screwdriver size to your screw. You wouldn't want to use a big screwdriver like this on that little bitty screw. It's not going to work. You wouldn't want to use a little small screwdriver on it either. It'll slip. Just as bad as too big a one. So just match them up. Quality screwdrivers are real important. Now, I'm not talking, you don't have to buy a snap-on like I use. But I also use, hold on a second, I'll show you. Because I'm not a tool snob, I use Pittsburgh Harbor Freight too. I love them. They're great. Even picks. My picks are Harbor Freight. You don't have to have high dollar tools to do high dollar work. Look how smooth that is now. Now, I took that screw out of that shaft for a reason. I'm going to take some of this good quality oil. Not that pin oil isn't, but this stuff here is just super, really slick. spin it around. That's an oil hole. You can put the screw back in it. And snug that down. Okay? Isn't that pretty? All right, now let's do the drag. Let's make sure our anti-reverse is working. Look at that. Let's make sure it fires. Yep, that's about right. Pick the line up. It's a little sluggish. You gotta give it a little. Okay. Let's do the drag. This was the first drag washer out of it. Give it some cowls. That'll help keep that leather nice and soft for years to come. Cowls does not take away from the amount of drag. Cowls gives you a smoother drag. You put a keyed washer in, next drag washer. Then the eared washer. So these reels are very similar to, this would be like a 714, maybe a 704, or maybe a 710. But I'm going to show you a couple things about this reel. It makes it a little better than a pin, in my opinion. All right, you put your snap ring in, it retains everything. And let's give that a little bit of oil. Protect it. A little dry from leaving it in the freaking parts washer all night. Then we'll put the spool on, line up all the keys. There you go. And then your knob. There you go. All right. One of the things I think it makes the Shakespeare a little bit better than a pen in some ways is this knob's removable. These knobs get broken a lot. Pen, you have to buy the whole handle. Sometimes you have to buy the whole everything. And that sucks. I like this serviceability of that. I think they use a little bit heavier materials. Of course, this is 1968, you know. Everything was built a little heavier back then, but I think all in all, it's a heavier duty reel, size for size to the pen. And man, this is a really fine piece. I've got one of these brand new in the box. And I swear this is in better shape than that one is. This one's incredible. You know, I'm super happy with the way it turned out. It looked like it just sat in a storage shed or something for a long time. It was just dusty and that kind of stuff, but it barely looks like it's ever been on a rod. Give that handle just a couple of shots of oil there. There it is, folks. That's a beautiful reel. Shakespeare Royal Maroon 2081, 1968 model. Sea Wonder. Not balanced as good as a pen. Pen will spin much smoother, more counterbalanced than this is, but I mean, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Anyway, this is John, Vintage Fisherman. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. Subscribe to my channel. Coming along pretty nicely. I haven't been doing this not quite a year yet, and the response has been great. I really appreciate everybody watching. I don't edit my videos. I pretty much just jump in and do it. And if I make a mistake, you get to watch me make the mistake and watch me fix the mistake. So unlike other reel repair guys, they edit. I go deep into a reel. Some guys just do a basic cleaning. I go deep. I go every part out of it if I can. I only do vintage stuff. That's my forte. And I appreciate you guys. I'm hoping that, say, if you've got one of these apart and you want to fix it, I just help you fix it. That's how my whole channel started. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next video.